Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to look at the Nexrad conspiracy theorists like Ariana Masters, In2ThinAir and Dane Wigington. They claim that Nexrad can manipulate weather. Well, let's put that to the test. Okay, so we're going to look at Ariana Masters. Okay. So let's have a look at her website then. Am I going to click on this video and have my mind blown? Can I be the debunker who debunks himself by watching this video? Surely, Ariana, in 44 minutes of content is going to unlock my mind. She's not just a grifter. She's not like the rest, like the others. This is going to blow my mind. Deep breath, guys. Let's go. Go easy, Ariana.
If you'd like to see these daily radar videos, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. Otherwise, this video is about to reach a paywall and will pause right now. Now. Now.
Oh well, it transpired. She was just a grifter. Okay, so we're going to look at In2ThinAir's account on X. He's another one who shitposts all these Nexrad kind of fucking radar anomalies and just screen caps it. And, you know, just makes it just so weird. I mean, it's just really weird. He gets community noted all the time. So he goes on about community notes, will claim I consistently post no unexplainable Nexrad anomalies. Well, you fucking do. It's literally what you do. This is a copy pasta, and this is just something you've screen capped for 25 fucking seconds. Okay. And he goes on. It's like, they also say that Nexrad antennas are elevated and beam angled. Well, yes, they are, sadly, because where is the weather? It's thousands of meters in the fucking sky, right? So you're not going to have that pointed downwards. And if you're saying that they're manipulating weather, but now trying to contradict or imply that they're not, where's your head at? Right, okay, so we're going to look at Dane Wigington. Now, Dane Wigington is on the Jimmy Dore show. I pulled this off X. It's a fucking shit show on there, I know, but here we go. So Dane is claiming in this video that radio waves interacted with water vapor, i.e. clouds, or the latent heat energy of water, and held this huge mass of weather over Texas. Now, I find this fucking ghoulish as fuck. So should everybody else, because a lot of children died in this.
He's playing the part of a red herring in this equation. There's no question, scientifically speaking, whatever he did or didn't do, whatever his planes did or didn't do, it was not what caused what happened in Texas. And to further back that up, aside from the time gap between whatever he did and the meager amount of material that their aircraft would have dropped, perhaps 5 to 10 pounds at most, what kept that moisture, this is critically important, what kept that moisture precipitating in one spot was frequency transmission manipulation from the Nexrad transmitter network. We recorded it. We recorded the same thing with Hurricane Harvey, and that's how they knew Harvey would end up where it did 7 days in advance and stay there for 3 days and dump 50 inches of rain.
Okay, so we have looked at 3 different people who have the same Nexrad conspiracy theory. They all claim the same thing. Nexrad can interact with clouds and weather and move weather around. So we're going to do a basic science experiment right now that proves that is bullshit. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, so now we are going to test water in a vapour or gas state. So this is our vapour chamber. We have our signal generator running. Just adjust that antenna there. We have our signal generator running. We have our spectrum analyzer receiving that signal through this chamber. So let's get started. Right, filling the chamber. So as you can see so far, there is no real attenuation of these radio waves, but we'll keep going and get a good saturation of water vapour. As I move around, it will affect the signal. So I'm going to stand away and just let this run. Now I'm approximately 2 meters away from my workstation. And now my body is not reflecting those radio waves. You will notice as well, as this goes on, that this will be slightly more attenuated even before the vaporizer is switched on. It's because the actual plastic or acrylic that this is made out of does have a dielectric constant and will attenuate some radio waves, but showing the signal before the vaporizer was turned on and while it's turned on, it's basically, you can see that. And you'll notice as well when I remove it and put the liquid and solid state H2O in between them, you will notice that attenuation is not there anymore. Just as a full kind of upfront, you might notice that, well, that's the explanation. Please don't hit me up in the comments going, wow, we could tell the vapour attenuated more, because it clearly hasn't, has it? So, anyway. Right, sitting back down. Okay, so this is really saturated now. And there is no attenuation. Basically, the photons are not interacting with the H2O dipole that make up the molecules. And yeah, that goes to show if they cannot interact with the water vapour, they will not be able to cause any kind of heating. Now, if you cannot heat H2O, you cannot influence weather. A hurricane needs the latent heat energy of an ocean to form. And yeah, this isn't happening because there is no interaction in this gaseous or vapour state. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to step up to the next state of water, which is its liquid state, and then eventually its frozen state. Now, I would like you just to go down to the comments before pause the video, go in the comments. How do you think the water in a frozen state is going to affect the radio signal between the 2 points? I think you may be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we'll end this experiment and we'll get on with the liquid state. Okay, so as previously mentioned, you can see now that the plastics are not attenuating that, whatever it was, 5 decibel, 3 decibel. You can see how my hand attenuates that signal really well, which kind of, I could go off into a tangent, but this is kind of why 5G doesn't penetrate your body, because these are very similar frequencies to the 5G bands, or should I say wavelengths. and you can see how my skin is attenuating this really well. Okay, but that's a tangent. Right, let's get on with it. So this is what water in a liquid state does to radio waves when it absorbs them, and basically there's H2O dipole interaction with those wavelengths. This is a bag of water. As you can see, it completely attenuates the radio waves. Even when it's thinner at the top, they are not getting through. Obviously, if they go further down, they will. But so the H2O molecules in here are very close together, have strong hydrogen bonds, and are effectively rotating back and forth, positive and negatively charged, absorbing those radio waves. Right, and our frozen state. Aha! For all of you in the comments that put it would attenuate the radio waves, you were wrong. Now there is a fringe case here because the water is on the edge of this as it starts to defrost, and also as well there will be a slight reflection from this as well. But yes, it does not attenuate the radio waves. Okay. That's bloody cold. So, the reason why solid state H2O molecules, or ice, snow, etc., do not attenuate radio waves is because their dipoles cannot spin. They are so tightly packed and held in suspension, the dipoles cannot move, and therefore cannot generate molecular heating. So, yeah. And considering a huge portion of clouds are frozen and mostly in a vapour state, unless it's precipitation, but if there's precipitation, that weather has already existed, because the precipitation, the precipitation, get my words right, stop murdering that, Mr. Brockbeeb. The precipitation is effectively the kind of product of the weather. And Nexrad can reflect off precipitation, but Nexrad can't reflect off the water vapour in the clouds, nor the frozen state water in those clouds. But if it's raining, that weather system has already been created, possibly thousands of miles away it started. So precipitation will have no effect on weather, because precipitation is ultimately the product of weather, not the catalyst for weather. So, what have we learned today? Well, we have learned that the frequency range of Nexrad, and we picked the sweet spot smack bang in the middle from this transmitter to this spectrum analyzer. We picked the sweet spot of between 2.8 and 2.9 gigahertz. And vapour was not affected. A solid state was not affected. A liquid state was affected, as it would be in your microwave at home. It's the same thing that's going on there. Dipoles flipping back and forth, but what have we truly learned? Like, fundamentally learned. We have learned that Ariana Masters, In2ThinAir, and Dane Wigington are full of shit. Are full of shit. Now, whether that's intentional, a grift, or whether that's just off the top of their head, they thought it feels right, it sounds right, we're going to go with this, whatever. But ultimately and fundamentally is they chose something that's invisible to you. They chose something that's invisible. And most grifters do, whether it be anti-vaxxers or, kind of 9/11 conspiracy theorists. They always find something that wasn't filmed, isn't visible, nobody's actually seen it, but apparently it happened. But with radio waves, especially, we can do simple experiments. We can do a simple experiment to show that radio waves are affected in certain ways and aren't affected in other ways. And that's what we did today. And these grifters don't have a absolute clue about the physics involved here. They don't know. Because they just see something that's invisible. So forget this, forget that, forget what I did. Imagine this space between. It's technically, unless you're looking at the mat, this space is invisible. Yes, there's photons interacting in this area, but technically, you can see my hand. Whatever's between my hand in terms of carbon dioxide, oxygen, diatomic gases is invisible. That's what they go on. That's what they want you to think is the problem. Stuff you cannot see, stuff you cannot touch, stuff you cannot imagine or have any kind of STEM literacy and perceive as existing in our day-to-day environments. And this is what these grifters go for. Because think about it. Think about every single thing that's a conspiracy theory. It's always 100% of the time something you cannot see. Think about that.